Hello everyone and welcome to this session, Sticky Products, the art of using behavioral design to create habit-forming strategies for product adoption. I'm thrilled to be here with you and I want to thank the OIT Council for this opportunity to share a bit of my experience as a behavioral designer in a world of clicks, swipes, and pretty much forgetfulness. I'm Daniela Espitia, I'm based in Colombia, and I'm a behavioral designer at Bway. I collaborate with UX teams, designing digital products and services. I build communication ecosystems and behavioral strategies for habit formation in digital environments, specifically in the financial sector. So let's just dive right in. What is behavioral design, or what do I do for a living? Behavioral design combines elements of strategic design, UX, positive design, and behavioral sciences to influence human behavior in specific and predictable ways. But the way I see it and how I rather explain it is, this is the perfect match between the rigor of academia and the practicality of design. So everything we do in our day-to-day is likely to be linked to a digital platform. We can track our sleep, keep up with friends, stay on top of our finances, meditate, work out, etc. But do you remember how you first started using any app? Maybe it was because it solved a specific pain point, or you saw a tangible benefit, you heard a recommendation from a friend, or you saw an ad. But nowadays there's too much offered and it is overwhelming, and people are most likely to stick with what they know because we're used to it, it's familiar, and it has become a habit. Habits make a huge portion of our daily lives, and once it's formed, they become a second nature that breaking them or changing them can be near impossible. So habits can also explain why half of new products fail. When new products or services are not adopted, the problem often lies not really in lack of awareness or knowledge of the user, or even lack of intention, but really the main failure it is to change existing habits or adopt new ones. So how do we get users to adopt new digital features or digital products? Usually this type of strategy relies on marketing efforts, but I'll explain in a bit why this isn't effective. So the way our brain works is fascinating. There is something called dual process theory, and this explains decision making, or how we allocate resources to evaluate and make decisions. So our brain basically divides into two. The first one is system 1 and system 2. So system 1 is fast, is intuitive, is automatic, pragmatic, and is heavily based on emotions. And habits basically fall into this category in system 1. So for instance, if I want to brush my teeth, I don't really have to think how to do it. I just do it because I'm used to it every single day. Or I can change my tone of voice and the way I communicate with someone depending on their emotional state. It's very different to deliver news to someone who's happy than to someone that is quite angry. So basically what our brain does, it relies on heuristics or mental shortcuts to evaluate quickly our information and help us decide. But the other half of the brain is a bit more slow. System 2 is conscious, is rational, is logical, very structured. And this is the kind of system we use when we are either studying or working most of the times, or we're making plans. But the capacity of system 2 is very limited. I'm sure we all think we're rational people and we're always thinking in system 2, but the reality is that we're most likely thinking in system 1. So when we want to squeeze a new product in the mind of a person, you have to understand that you're going to be competing against a set belief, habits, and their sense of risk, because with every single change comes with a risk. So when we focus the adoption strategy on marketing only, we're mostly tackling system 2, the rational side, how this product solves this pain point and all of these benefits. But the reality is that most people say they want the benefits, but what they really want is the convenience of usage. Of course, we have the onboardings, we have the tutorials, we have walkthroughs for users to understand the feature and navigate the new environment. But then again, this information falls into system 2, the rational side, the logical and calculative side of the brain. So we need to switch to system 1 in order to create easy of use. If we want our users to adopt new technology, we need to focus on designing specific behaviors and what does it look like. The metrics we usually use for product adoption are quite broad, like feature usage, completion rate, drop-off rate, customer satisfaction, so on and so forth. But this doesn't quite describe a problem or a motivation. In reality, what a KPI does this is a metric that represents a group of people that are systematically carrying out a behavior. So for instance, if the goal is 20K downloads, what it really means is 20K users downloading the app. So when we translate KPIs into behaviors, what we're doing is using a magnifying glass to understand and guide users step by step into a process that will help us reach a goal. So, how can we leverage System 1 into the product adoption strategy? And we have the model right here. It's called the Hook model, and it was designed by Nir Eyal, and I highly recommend checking out this book. So this is a 4-stage cycle, and unlike marketing funnel, this doesn't have an end point. So let's begin with the first stage. It's the trigger. The trigger is the starting point of any interaction, and the idea of the trigger is using external triggers in form of alerts or prompts so you capture the attention of the user. This could be a push notification, a mail, a text message, and by doing this constantly, the user will associate certain feeling or situation with your product. And the end goal is having the user to come back to your product on their own. They have to associate a situation with the product, and they will enter the cycle on their own. The second one is the action, and this is very straight to the point. The question here is, what do we want the user to do? What's the intention of the first prompt? And here, all we have to do is keep it simple. We can leverage UX design to help users navigate the product flow in order to perform the action. But also, what you have to bear in mind here is the motivations behind this action. Is the user really motivated to do it? Is this the right time for them to do it? What's their mental state or what's their emotional state in order for them to perform the action that you're asking them? The third one is variable reward. So in the first one, triggers, we send them a prompt. In the second one, we ask them to do something. In the third one, which is variable reward, we have to reward them for doing the action that we ask them. So the thing is that if we give them the same reward every single time, they're just gonna get bored. People crave dopamine, and by giving them the same reward all the time, they're gonna get used to it, and it's not gonna be as exciting as the beginning. So what you can do is try to mix it up a bit with different types of rewards just to spark curiosity, and this will keep them interested in your product. So Nir Eyal says that there are like three types of variable rewards. The first one, which is the reward of the tribe, and we're all social animals, so of course we want to stay connected with our social circle. So for instance, in this reward of the tribe, what we can do is we want to get validation of our circle, we want to stay connected, we want to stay in touch. So most likely all social media platforms will fall into this category, the reward of the tribe. So it's going to be with likes, with commenting pictures or commenting posts, anything like that. The second one is the reward of the hunt. So when we go online, we're mostly looking for something. It can be a good deal, it can be some information. It's basically about getting our goal. So for instance, if if I'm a fanatic of robotics and I sign in for a newsletter and I get that information, this is going to be a variable reward of the hunt because I'm craving that information about robotics. And the third one is the reward of the self. And this has to do a lot with personal gratification. So, for instance, if I set my own goals and I'm reaching them step by step, I can just have like a check on my completion of task, or I can just send a prompt to my user saying, hey, you're one step closer to your end goal. So this will show them process. This will show them progress in their process, right? So just be aware of which kind of variable reward you need for your users. And the third one is investment. So people usually think there are only monetary investment, but the reality is that when people spend time on your product and they feed their product with the data, they're already investing. So the great thing about digital products is that the more you use them, the better they adapt to you. So if you're going to ask for information, just make sure that that information is being used wisely to make a more a personalized experience, because users want to see a tangible benefit from using this product. So let's just recap this cycle with one example. I'm pretty sure we have all used Instagram here, but do we really remember how we got so hooked? It wasn't it wasn't necessarily for the filters. So the way Instagram began was quite simple. The app sent you a push notification saying, hey, this person and this many more like your post. So you entered the app because we were all curious. And the users that like your post could be your sister, your mom, or your crush. And not knowing who it was at the beginning, it was a variable reward. We were all looking for that dopamine effect. So in this case, we were making use of the variable reward of the tribe. And finally, how did we invest on Instagram? We invested with likes, with comments, with posting pictures with a lot of filters on. And the thing is that Instagram used all of these data points to understand our preference and tailor content for our own experiences. So this is why our Explore section looks the way it does. So this same structure can be applied to many habit-forming products in the health industry, transport, finance. You just have to understand the motivations of your users. So if you want users to adopt your product, use a magnifying glass on your KPIs. What do you need your users to do? What behavior are you going to design for? And you build that roadmap behavior by behavior to achieve those results. So the main takeaways from this chat is, first of all, translate KPIs into behavioral goals to build that roadmap. Try to understand what adoption looks like for your product. Broad KPIs like completion rate or usage time won't help you design strategies to capture attention and form habits. The second takeaway is leverage System 2 to make your product stand out. One thing is to create a product that solves a pain point, but the other thing is to squeeze that product into the daily routine. The hook model helps design desire and a perception of low risk for users that are hesitant to use your product. So there you have it, the hook model for product adoption. I hope this helps you for your next strategy, and thank you for having me on Internet of Things Day. It has been a pleasure to share my experience in the field of behavioral design. If you have any questions, here's my contact details and feel free to reach out. Hasta pronto.